What's up, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Wizards Latest. I'm your host and DC sports fan, Ben Robertson, and on this page, we break down all the biggest headlines surrounding the Washington Wizards. So, guys, as always, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Drop your comments down below as well with any thoughts you might have on the video or anything you want to hear me talk about in the future. As always, guys, I appreciate all of the support. We're closing in on 500 subscribers here on the page. Thank you guys so much. Let's keep it rolling, like I said. And jumping in today, Alex Sarr looked awesome in a exhibition matchup for Team France leading up to the Eurobasket 2025 tournament. Bilal Coulibaly had a nice showing in that game as well. Want to talk about both of those Wizards playing international basketball. Then let's chat about the latest roster move the Wizards have made, who have they waived, and who might take that open spot now on this roster going into next NBA season. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in, keeping you posted on everything Wizards related right here on the page. And Team France kicked off their series of sort of warm-up exhibition matchups for the Eurobasket 2025 tournament with a game against Montenegro that they won 81-75. Game started close, kind of went back and forth in the first quarter. The French team built up a lead in the second and third quarters, but Montenegro really just kept battling really until the very last minute of this game. France got their lead up into double figures, but it was repeatedly cut down, and it was really an entertaining matchup for, just a friendly showing and kind of a warm-up style, again, exhibition affair. Remember, this French team, maybe a little bit of extra motivation going into the Eurobasket 2025 tournament. The reigning Olympic silver medalist also took the silver medal at the last Eurobasket tourney. Of course, a team that's turned themselves into really one of the powerhouses in European basketball. Maybe a little bit extra motivation for that gold medal here this summer. But I want to talk about the Wizards that were playing, on this French team and how good they looked in this exhibition matchup. Alex Sarr, of course, specifically looked awesome. 19 points, 4 rebounds for Sarr off the bench, 7 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 5 from the three-point land. Kind of honestly sort of the reverse of what we saw from Sarr in Summer League, where he was kind of blocking everything, right? In Summer League, a little bit inefficient offensively, really started to find his way, especially in game two. Well, no blocks here in this exhibition matchup for France, but was very efficient offensively and looked great at that end of the court. And it's just a really encouraging performance, honestly, from, again, the former number 2 overall pick at the international level. And, another thing I continue to notice with Sarr, I saw this in Summer League, saw this last year even as well. Every time somebody gets a bucket on him, even if it's not directly, it's just a big, at that end of the court, he wants to go right back down the other way and answer. One of the things I thought that got, him going in this exhibition game, Nikola Vucevic, of course, for Montenegro, got some early buckets on him, in that game when Sarr was, entered. And Sarr, again, went right back down the other way and was trying to get his, and that's what sort of got him flowing and rolling in that game. Again, finished with 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting from the floor. That's something we saw a little bit last year. And even if you remember, that Summer League Game 2 matchup against Drew Timme in Brooklyn, that was something I loved. I know Timme put up big numbers in that game, but they weren't all directly on Sarr. But regardless, every time Timme scored, Sarr was taking the ball out or, just sprinting down the court and asking for it, trying to get his on the offensive end. And it's something I love because it just shows me his mentality is where it needs to be. You can talk about his game all you want or maybe improvements he needs to make, but it shows me he's not passive about this. He wants to be great, and somebody scoring at his position on him or just at his position, maybe if it's not directly on him, he's going to take personally. And that is, again, just exactly what you want to see. Moving on to Bilal Coulibaly, who we really maybe had, at least I maybe had higher expectations for going into the Eurobasket event and playing here with Team France in the offseason. And while Sarr stole the show, Coulibaly was still really good. Wearing that number 99 French jersey, he was in the starting lineup, finished with 10 points, 4 of 5 from the floor, and 2 of 2 from outside, from beyond the arc. Could have been slightly more aggressively, to be quite honest. But honestly, I don't mind that he wasn't forcing anything or wasn't trying to do too much. Just let the game come to him and was rewarded with an efficient offensive night because of it. Another thing you just really like about Bilal, no matter what's going on at the offensive end, you know his defense is going to show up. You know his presence is going to be there and the effort is going to be there at that end of the court. Something to take away maybe from this game for Bilal, if he can continue to knock down open, 3-pointers off the catch, that is just going to be huge for him moving forward in the, just NBA career. I talk about all the time, a big key for him this year is finding consistency with that jumper from outside. And again, two for two from deep in that game. If he can continue to do that, it is just going to be pivotal for Bilal because we all know and always talk about what he means on the defensive end of the court. So remember, next action for uh, France in this series of exhibitions or friendlies, they'll take on Great Britain this Friday, August 8th. Remember, Eurobasket tournament coming up later this month. But I want to talk about a roster move here stateside that the Wizards have made. Jalen Martin has been waived. He was on a two-way deal, and Martin went undrafted back in 2023, has spent the last couple years since then on two-way contracts with different organizations, appeared in 13 NBA games with Washington last year, averaged just under 6 points in 18 minutes per night. Uh, you know, honestly, for Martin's sake, he can kind of link on with another NBA team before next NBA year because you wonder if maybe that starts to be the end of the line for him in the NBA. If not, despite, he's put up some decent G League numbers at different times, in his career in the past. But who might take this roster spot is sort of then your next question. Remember, Tristan Vukcevic, Jameer Watkins on two-way deals, but the Wizards can add one more two-way contract as well. My first reaction, honestly, was, oh, it'll be Kadari Richmond. It was reported that he was signed on a two-way contract earlier this offseason. Looked like he was maybe just going to be playing with the Go-Go instead of being on a two-way deal, but maybe that opens things up for him. That was my first sort of thought about it. Then I was, thinking, well, maybe they could go out and maybe there was somebody they really liked from a summer league performance that they think could maybe, help them out a little bit on a two-way deal. Or, as some of you guys have suggested to me, maybe the move is to add a big man and add, some depth in that regard. Again, I've seen some of you guys clamoring for that down in the comment section. Once again, guys, we will keep you posted on all of it here on the page. I appreciate you tuning in. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, so make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below if you haven't done so already. Again, drop your comments with any thoughts you might have on the video or anything you want to hear me talk about in the future. And thanks for watching another episode of Wizards Latest.